Pull up some music on her phone that we can sing along with.
So we're still doing it.
Yeah. So please your eyes and bow your spirit as you're able to. Our gathering hymn is number 323, Break Not the Circle.
So we'll just sing along, but there'll be other people singing, so it'll make it sound really good. So this is our we're YouTubing it this morning. Hopefully there'll be no advertisements, because that would be embarrassing. All right, so 323, get this playing. Hopefully my speaker's working. Can y'all hear it? Okay.
The circle of enabling love, where people grow forgiven and for. Break not the circle, make it wider still, till it includes, embraces all the living. Come wonder at this love that comes to life, where words of freedom are with humor spoken, and people keep no score of wrong and guilt, but will and human bonds remain unbroken. Join then the movement of the love that frees, till people of whatever race or nation will truly themselves stand on their feet, see eye to eye with laughter and elation.
Thank y'all. Welcome. I am Chad Wisnan. I'm your worship associate today. Welcome to the Sunday service of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Oxford. Whether you're a longtime member or a first-time visitor, you're welcome here. You're invited to be present with an open mind, a loving heart, and willing hands to help. In this congregation, we uphold our Unitarian Universalist values and principles. We come together today to acknowledge our interdependence, honor the spirit of generosity, work for justice and equity, and explore the possibilities of transformation. It is good to be together in this pluralistic community, this congregation that centers love in all that we do. Now I'm going to share some announcements with you. Most of them are printed in your order of service, but there's just a few that I wanted to hit on real quick. Reverend Sarah is in town from January 11th to the 13th. If you want to meet up with her, get a cup of coffee, get dinner. Soul Matters is going to be on the 2nd and 4th Sundays. So that's going to be the 25th is the next one coming up. And that is from 9:30 to 10 a.m. OWL, Our Whole Lives, our orientation is going to be January 18th for 4th through 6th grades. And our MLK Day of Service is coming up January the 19th. So one really important thing is in your order of service here, you need to RSVP for that. So we need to make sure everybody that's coming needs to RSVP so we know what kind of group we're looking at, okay? As a reminder, grief, gratitude, and growth slips are available from the greeter. If you have a moment you'd like to share, please write them down and drop your slip in the collection basket during the offering so they can be read aloud later in the service. And now Reverend Sarah will help us enter into a time of sacred celebration.
Thank you, Chad. Good morning, beloveds. I'm Reverend Sarah, and I'm honored and pleased to be UUCO's halftime minister. And today's service is entitled Shining Our Light at UUCO, and it celebrates the beginning of our favorite season of stewardship campaigning. And that is an occasion to center the values of generosity that we hold in high esteem as Unitarian Universalisms for this spiritual home. And we also to continue exploring our Soul Matters theme for January, which we had our first session this morning at 9:30. So second and fourth, when I'm here, we're going to have discussion groups at 9:30. So if you can get here early, it's going to be great. And that theme for January is practicing resistance, very timely. And to support our practice of resistance to protest injustice, it is essential for us to come together to nurture our spirits, to kindle our flames, and we amplify our light through our spiritual sustenance found here, so that we can then carry that radiance out into the world to do good work, to protest, to resist all the things that are before us in our world right now. And we do that by coming here, getting refreshed, renewed, and recommitted to our mission and purpose. So let us settle in, let us be here now, put all the things away that are outside these walls. And as a grounding practice, I invite you to a moment of breath work or whatever practice feels right to you. If you will breathe in some peace and breathe out some love. Let us begin our time together with this call to worship by my colleague, Linda Susan Ulrich. Open up the doors, push on looming wooden arches embroidered with ironwork, brace shoulders against the weight of history unmoved, slough off the musty smell of unused joy and stored up sorrow, knock rust off the hinges if you have to, and let your breath precede you inside. Open the doors more, make room for a shaft of sunlight to cross the threshold. Give the dust motes something to dance about. Peek through a single slice of possibility and name even the half-hidden truths you see. And open the doors wider still and pour yourself through the gap. Strut or sneak or slide as suits you best. Cleanse whatever scrapes catch your skin and bind up the wounds that keep you from entering whole. Open the doors as far as they will go and draw on the strength of the stones and the wood beneath you. Ground yourself in a firm sense of who you are. Stand as a beacon welcoming the next seeker and shine far beyond the lintel and sill. Open all that you are and heighten and deepen your connection to the world around you. Broaden your definition of neighbor. Grow into the largest target for grace that you can muster, and pray to become a gateway for even greater love and compassion. Open up the doors, my friends, lest we keep the strangers out and condemn ourselves to prisons of our own making. Open up the doors. And as we open the doors of this beloved community, we have the opportunity to welcome and strengthen the bonds of belonging and celebrate what is possible by offering one another a gesture of holy hospitality. You are invited in a moment to share with one another a moment of greeting. Extend your hand, say a word of welcome, maybe offer a hug, or as a practice of consent, if you would prefer not to engage, simply place your hand over your heart and the folks around you will honor your choice. And now, if you would feel so moved to say hello, a greeting of welcome to the person to your left or right.
I'm glad to see you. It's been a while.
And now, with hearts centered in love, let us light the sacred symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith, our flaming chalice. With these words, we kindle a flame of power, illuminating the holy in each of our faces. We recognize in the flame a passionate commitment to our shared faith, and we are held and carried from day to day, week to week, in the shining of the light. This flame is mine as well as yours, and we are brought together on this day, called to growth, to expansion within its glow. What does your heart know while beholding this holy flame? And now, folks, we have another hymn to sing together. It is number 118, This Little Light of Mine. If you know it from other places, the language might be slightly different. We're going to sing along once again to our YouTubes. Since I have nobody to play. So if you will rise in body or spirit, we'll make a joyful noise together. But first, let me get this rolling. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Building up the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up the world, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All right, we did pretty good on that one, y'all. Thank you. Please be seated. And now it's time for story time. Now, I ordered something really cool. It was going to be a little present for each one of you. And unfortunately, my delivery is delayed. So it's showing up tonight. So in 2 weeks' time, there'll be a part 2. So I have nothing to show you this morning. So we'll just enjoy the story time. This is a lamp in every corner. Many years ago in the land of Transylvania, not vampires, of course, in a mountain valley watered by quick rushing streams and shallowed by great forests of beech trees, there was a village of small wooden houses with dark shingled roofs. And the people in the village were of the Unitarian religion. And they wanted a church of their own. Yeah, some Unitarians like to use the word church. So if that lands hard for you, just breathe and think congregation is what they need. A church set on the hillside, they decided, looking down upon a village as a mother looked down upon her sleeping child. And so all the people of the village labored long and hard to build themselves a church. And the stonemasons hammered sharp chisels to cut great blocks of gray stone, and then they set the stones into stout and sturdy walls. And the glaziers made tiny glass panes and fitted them neatly into the windows with leaded lines. And the foresters sawed tall beech trees into enormous beams and laid the trusses for the ceiling, and then covered the roof with close-fitted wooden shingles that wouldn't leak a drop of rain. And then the carpenters carved wood for the pair of wide open doors, setting them on strong pegs so that the doors hung straight and square. And then a bell was brought from a faraway city and then hoisted by ropes with a heave and a hoe to the top of the tower. And the weavers wove fine cloths for the altar table, and cloths embroidered with flowers and edged with lace. And the smiths hammered black iron into tall lamp stands and hammered thin bronze into shining oil lamps. And finally, when the building of the church was done, the painting of the church could begin. And the painters, they mixed brilliant colors, royal red and shimmering gold and brilliant blue. And everyone in the village, old and young, women and men, boys and girls, and non-binary siblings alike, all came to decorate their church. And they painted flowers, and they painted trees, and they painted designs around the windows and different designs around the doors. It was glorious. And at the end of the day, when it was finished, when their church was finally done, all the people of the village stood back to admire it. And then to sing a song of happiness and praise. Their village had a church now, a church set up on a hillside, looking down upon the village as a mother looks down upon her sleeping child. And we will eat now, because that's what we do, right? At the end of the work, we have a meal. Announced an elder of the village because everyone was hungry after their long day of work. And later tonight, we will come back to pray. So the people of the village went down the hillside to their homes and their suppers, all except for one little girl named Zora and her father, who stayed behind. And they had brought their own bread and cheese, and they ate their food slowly, sitting on the grass of the hillside, admiring their new church with its strong stone walls, its tall tower, and its magnificent bell. And after they had eaten, they went back inside, opening those carved wooden doors to go into the gloriously painted sanctuary inside. "Oh, look, Father," Zora cried, running from picture to picture with her footsteps echoing off the stone walls. "See how pretty the church is?" And she stopped in the center of the church and twirled slowly around. "See how grand." "Yes, it is," said her father, looking around and nodding with pride. "Yes, it is. But Father," she said suddenly, "we have not finished." "Well, what do you mean?" "There are tall iron lampstands all along the walls, but there are no lamps. The church will be dark when the people come back." "Ah, no, little one," said her father, "the light of the church comes from its people. You shall see." And he rang the bell to call the people to worship, then took his daughter by the hand and led her back inside. And they waited on the grassy hillside next to their beautiful church of strong gray stone. And the sun had set behind the mountains and night was coming soon. Yet in the growing darkness, tiny points of light came from many directions, moving steadily up the hill. "Each family is entrusted with a lamp, little one," the father explained, "and each family lights its own way here." "Well, where is our family's lamp?" "Your mother is carrying it, and she will be here soon." And the many lights moved closer together, gathering into one moving stream, all heading the same way, growing larger and brighter all the time. And Zora's mother arrived, bearing a burning oil lamp in her hands. And the father lifted Zora so she could set that family's lamp high in its tall iron stand. And all around the church, other families were doing the same. And soon the church was ablaze with light in every corner, for all the people of the village had gathered to pray and to sing. And all through the worship service, Zora watched the lights flicker and glow, and she watched her family's lamp most of all. And when the service was over, her father lifted her high, and she took that shining bronze lamp from the lampstand. And its curved sides were warm and smooth in her hands. And her mother carried the lamp home with the flame lighting the way. And the lamp flame lit their house when they returned home. Zora washed her face and got ready for bed by the light of that flame. Mother, Zora began as she climbed into bed and laid down. Yes, little one, her mother asked, tucking the red wool blanket around Zora's shoulders. Father said the light of the church comes from its people. Yes. But also the people take their light from the church. And over on the table by the fireplace, the shiny bronze lamp was still burning. And we have that light every day. Yes, indeed, said her mother. And even when we are not in church, even when the lamp is not lit, we carry the light of truth in our minds and the flame of love in our hearts to show us the right way to be. That light, the light from truth and love, will never go out. Never? Asked Zora. Never, said her mother. And this bronze lamp will last for many, many years. And when you are grown, we will give this bronze lamp to you. And when your children are grown, you will give the lamp to them. And all of you will carry it back and forth to church every time. But there is only one lamp, Zora said. So make another and let the light grow. And someday tell your children to make more lamps too. And good night. Now, her mother said, and kissed Zora once on the cheek and once on the other cheek and once on the forehead. And Zora closed her eyes and drifted into dreams while her mother looked down upon her sleeping child. And the years passed and Zora grew and the bronze lamp came into her care and she kept it polished and clean. And when the bell rang across the valley to call the people to worship, she carried that lamp back and forth to the church on the hillside, the flame always lighting her way. And when the time came, she made more lamps and she gave them to her children who made more lamps and gave them to their children. And so it went on through the years, even to this day. And always the light of truth and the flame of love from that Unitarian church on the hillside continued to grow and show them and us the way. That's our story time. And now we have a moment of light offered by Chris Surbeck. This is the beginning of our stewardship. And we are also going to invite our young ones to RE should they like to attend with Wendy. Go now.
Yeah, go now.
Go now. May our love surround and sustain you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Thanks, Chris.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Well, you've heard Reverend Sarah say that we are starting our stewardship campaign today. The theme of this campaign is shining our light. In case you haven't noticed all the light mentions here this morning. So I'm talking to you today, both as a member of UUCO for the past 15 years and also as your treasurer. So let me start first by speaking as a member. When I was a new attendee and then later a member here, I didn't know what a stewardship campaign was. I didn't even know what a pledge was. So let me start with some definitions here. Be very professorial for you here. A stewardship campaign in a congregation like this means cultivating a shared responsibility for the health and the mission of our congregation, and that our congregation lives because of the people who commit to it voluntarily and in financial ways. And I found out that a pledge is a promise for a donation based on my circumstances and my values. And so by the way, today, most of you or all of you will come out with an envelope that looks like this, or some of them might be white, and it'll have a letter from Reverend Sarah and our president, Andy Franger, that says shining our light and explains this campaign. So the purpose is to shine our light to this theme is to shine our light among us here inside this building on Sundays, but also outside of these walls, right? To show our values in our greater community. Now, when I first started coming here, I thought things that at UUCO just happened like magic. You know, UUCO just kind of ran itself. It was here. The Sunday services happened and they were great and I kept coming. The building was here and it was pretty and people took care of it and I kept coming. The lights were on, the doors were open and people just showed up because that's what happens at churches. And so it was all just magic. It just happened. I came and I enjoyed and it was great. And, you know, I'm really proud of being part of UUCO and how it makes magic happen. And magic continues to happen. We have Reverend Sarah out here in the community talking at the No Kings rally, and we have a float in the Christmas parade, and we have her here inspiring us every other Sunday. And, you know, all this visibility shows that this congregation is engaged and willing to be seen and be counted. So my personal stewardship for this congregation, still speaking to you as a member, my stewardship consists of my voluntary actions. I am treasurer for a couple of years. I'm a singer in our small chorus, and I do a voluntary financial contribution. How do I decide how much to give? Well, I look at the UUA guidelines, UUA, Unitarian Universalist Association. Look at their guidelines and I consider what I spend on other things that are important to me, that I spend money on voluntarily, like my pets and my social activities and my trips to visit family and my physical activities. And so the amount that I spend on those things, I kind of correlate to how much I should spend here because this is also so important and is something I love. So, speaking of US Treasurer, I can say that UUCO is magic, but also not magic. It was through the hard work of founding members in 1997 that this congregation started. We have one of them here with us, Mary Keha, founding mother. We also have, I don't see other originals here, but other originals who come here who are still members are Elaine Gelbard and Dan Mattern, Marge Holland, and Philippi. And so you may know their names. They are the originals. And it was through the UUCO board financial decisions that we bought this building in 2002 and renovated it to be what it is to be today. So not magic, but hard work and commitment. There's no magic funding source. There's no larger organization quietly paying our bills. Everything we do runs on donations from members and friends. Today, I can tell you as treasurer, our operating budget is about $80,000 a year. That covers real practical expenses, salaries, water, heat, electricity, insurance, supplies, and just costs of simply being a functioning organization. Every dollar of that budget comes from people in this room and others who are friends of UUCO and believe in us. The pledges we are asking for now through these envelopes that I'm handing out, they are part of that non-magic that helps us ensure our future. When we plan responsibly and give according to our ability, UUCO can continue doing the work that we care about. When we don't, our options narrow. But here's the good news. Good news, when people show up, by pledging like they have all this time, by budgeting and committing, the results feel like magic. Our programs grow, like RE over there for the children and the OWL, Our Whole Lives. Our programs grow, our participation outside the community grows, our outreach expands, And our stability allows creativity. And our light shines brighter. So I hope you will give to this campaign, and I am often here, always available to talk to you and answer questions. Often on Sunday mornings, I'm actually in the office over there doing our financials, but I'm also here before and after, and I'm happy to talk to you as treasurer and as a member about the stewardship campaign. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. That was wonderful. So now we have a responsive reading, and your refrain is in the order of service, which is nurture this precious light. Y'all, I really went hard on the light imagery for today. You just have to bear with me. Okay, so when I kind of point to you, you say, nurture this precious light. It's right next to responsive reading. How shall we begin to live out our free faith? Nurture this precious light. When we do, we are beacons of freedom, creating a safe place to rest, explore, and innovate. Nurture this precious light. How we keep this lamp of truth and justice affects how and whether we are transforming inequity through witness and action. Nurture this precious light. As we nurture this precious light together, we become a light of hope, turning isolation into community, anguish into peace, and sorrow into joy. Nurture this precious light. And as we do, our faith burns a steady flame of innovation, banishing illusion, creating a new and renewing way together. Nurture this precious light. With our living connections, with our glowing stories, with our flame of freedom, moving hand to hand, we nurture this precious light. And together we turn this world from bleak to bright, one flame, one fire, one light at a time. Nurture this precious light.
So we nurture this precious light when we remember that generosity is a core value of our faith. It is not only a call to financially support the mission and good works of this congregation, but goes beyond the threshold of this place. The congregation is also a learning laboratory where we get to practice the art of generosity, where we experiment with spiritual transformation and empowerment. In this beloved community, we have the privilege to give to this purpose, and in doing so, we receive so very much. We know that the joyfully given financial contributions to this congregation and its mission come from you, members, and friends, set toward a vision of love. Our morning offering is always split, with half going to our monthly Share the Plate designee and half going to support the mission of UUCO. Our Share the Plate recipient for this month is the Gordon Community and Cultural Center, Incorporated, which serves the citizens of Lafayette County by providing educational programs for youth in the form of its Abbeville School Educational Summer Enrichment Camp for adults, and for adults by providing legal clinics, job opportunities, and career development through the 2020 Vision Trade School. Also, please remember to drop any notes of grief, gratitude, and growth, joys and sorrows in the offering basket as they go around. Our morning offering will now be graciously received.
Peace and shalom. Peace and shalom. Peace salam 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 shalom. We believe peace salam shalom. We believe peace salam shalom. We believe peace salam shalom.
gotta add DJ to my list on my resume now. By the work of our hands and the work of our hearts, our love is made real. And as we acknowledge our gifts, may we be grateful for all that is given and grateful for all that is shared. Thank you, Chad. And now let us enter into the ritual like the one before us, one that asks us to be vulnerable in our expression and gracious in our witness, so that we may share what is on our hearts and lay it at the altar of community and spirit. For those of you who are new, we write down our joys and sorrows on these slips of paper and pass them up here to me. Using a pebble dropped into the bowl of water to symbolize the ripple effects of the events of our lives upon the larger community, we will now share the grief, gratitude, and moments of growth that have touched our lives since we were last together. Our first pebble is one of gratitude for our visitors and friends. We are so glad that you are here and we offer you a warm welcome. Our second pebble is one of grief for those who are feeling sorrow, rage, all the things, especially in light of the most recent killings by ICE agents, including the loss of Renee Nicole Good. And then I would like to read these from Wendy Franger, one of grief, maybe gratitude too, but it's circled both. Holding in our hearts people in our lives who have been struggling with mental health. And from Ellie, a pebble of grief. Beloved local musician Jeff Calloway passed away this week. Sister, friends, and our community in your thoughts, as this is a great loss for many of us. And from Sue Fino, I guess this is more of an announcement, but we'll pass it along as a growth possibility. Resist, which goes with our theme, Fed Up Fridays, each Friday at the Federal Building from 12 to 12:30. Bring your own sign or use one from our collection. See Sue Fino for more information about Fed Up Fridays. And finally, we drop one more pebble into the water for all the grief, gratitude, and moments of growth that remain in the sanctuary of our hearts. These joys and sorrows, too, are held in this community of care and by a love that is limitless. Amen. And now I need to pull up another song. We're going to do a meditation hymn, number 318. We would be one. We're going to stay seated for this one. And I'm going to pull up some singers to go along with us.
Oh
So I have a couple readings here. Life Together, A Sanctuary for the Spirit by Rebecca Ann Parker and John A. Burns. Life Together. Ecclesiology, from the Greek word ecclesia, called together, is a theological theme that speaks about religious community. Ecclesiology asks, what is the nature and purpose of a religious community? What brings the religious community into being and holds it together? How does the community define the relationships and roles of its members? What rituals and spiritual practices align the community with what it understands as the sacred, the source of life? A sanctuary for the spirits. The people of Les Chambon, a small village in France, harbored hundreds of Jewish children during World War II. Years later, when they were visited by one of the children, now a grown man, who had been sheltered there, he found himself asking why that village had sheltered Jewish children when so many others had not. Le Chambon was a Huguenot Protestant village, a religious minority accustomed to struggling to survive. They regularly gathered to sing hymns, to recall the faith of ancestors who had held fast to the spirit of love, even in times of trial, to offer thanksgiving and to pray for one another. When he asked them to explain, they said they could not imagine responding in any other way. It was simply the shape that their souls had. Their ways of worship had formed them for courage and resistance.
Thanks, Tad. The little communities of Les Chambon and the Unitarians in Transylvania remind me of UUCO, this little congregation that could, of people coming together to make meaning, to share their lives, to wrestle with ideas, and to interpret values in the context of the larger world. To figure out the answers to those ecclesiology questions. Why are we here? What forms us? Etc., etc. But most importantly, and connecting all three of these communities, the little French community, the Transylvania community, and the Mississippi community, is a strong sense of love and generosity for self and for others. And who would have thought in this day and age that doing the right thing, working together and lifting each other up, would be a radical position to take? Common decency, folks. The bar is that low right now. But here we are, and it's scary out there. More so than ever before in America, because safety and basic rights for everyone are at risk. And this is nothing new for some folks with marginalized identities, as it's been too easy, though, for the mainstream, most of us in the mainstream, to ignore, out of sight and out of mind. But those days are over. The time of reckoning is upon us. We cannot turn away, nor can we hide our light and our love. This congregation and you are needed, especially in Oxford, Lafayette County, in Mississippi, in America. We are needed to band together because we are most powerful together, to provide an oasis, a safe haven, a beacon of light and thoughtful crew of justice seekers and merrymakers, because yes, we need joy in the resistance too. And as we've discussed in our Soul Matter session this morning, all kinds of folks and communities are needed in this revolution for love. We don't all have to do the same thing. We each got a part to play. There's a list on the door inside the RE room if you need some suggestions for figuring out your role or roles. Because a revolution of love and light is needed right now, because the world has grown a little cold and dark. Have you been feeling angry, sad, confused, scared, numbed out? Me too, Mary. I mean, it's been rough. One of my little goofy spiritual practices is when I get really enraged, I order a t-shirt so I can wear my protest on my sleeve, literally. My most recent one is from the alt parks, forest parks or whatever. It's got the Smokey the Bear and it says on his hat, resist. Because I'm with those people, the alt forest people, you know who I'm talking about? They post some really good stuff, and I was like, oh, this is my little stick it to the man. My colleague Amy K. DeBeck writes, even when it seems very dark, there is still a great deal of light. Even when our eyes cannot perceive it, the light is there, just like in a different way. Like when there is an eclipse and the moon is covering over the sun. We can't see it, but we still know it's there. But it's hard to remember that sometimes when there is so much going on that brings darkness to our world. And this troubles me. I am troubled by innocent people being killed by agents of the government. I am troubled by political figures attempting to gaslight all of us into not believing what we see and hear with our own eyes and ears and spirits. I am troubled that children are being confronted by masked people with guns who are supposed to be making the community safer, but only make it more dangerous. I am troubled that due process is being ignored, that conspiracy theories are being touted as truths. I am troubled by people of faith remaining silent when their neighbors are being disappeared. I am troubled that our LGBTQ siblings and BIPOC families are continuing to be threatened with violence. I am troubled that the rights of bodily autonomy and laws protecting our planet are being eroded. I am troubled that the very few extremely wealthy are calling the shots in our society. And I am troubled when I feel like I don't know what to do with my anger and with my sadness over all of these injustices. Sometimes it feels like just too much. But I cannot turn away. That is a privilege and a luxury for us all to just turn our TVs off or unplug from social media and doom scrolling. But we can pause for a commercial break, a soul break, if you will. I can take a moment to breathe. I can be here now. And I can be here now to remember what is good and holy and sacred, and that you and I have light, no matter how dimmed, to shine, and as we do, in fact, have collective power to wield. See, what these powers that be, they want us confused, they want us scared, they want us isolated, they want our heads turned down, spinning in our own little stews. So the best thing we can do is not do that. The best thing we can do is come together to shine bright, to get real clear, and to breathe. And if breathing doesn't work for you, just to find your center. I can be here now to commit myself to hold space, to be a cheerleader, to be a lamp and a balm. And I can be here now to share a moment with you, with each of you, to look into your eyes so that the holy in me can see the holy in you. To know that we are not alone, and that I will commit myself again and again to center love over fear in all that I do, to shine light and center love in all we do. We are meant to shine, to be lamps in every corner. And when you and I, when we shine, it gives us permission for others to shine too. Say, it's okay, you're not wrong. This is terrible, but we're going to get through it together. We're going to figure it out, and we're going to move like a wave, like a river coming down the mountain. DeBeck reminds us our light is like love. A little bit makes more, and you don't lose it by giving it away. You increase the light in others when they see you shine. And shining holds the potential to also make us feel at peace and to know joy. Like the miracles of the Maccabees, we are not in danger of running out of light. We are only in danger of forgetting to shine. When one of us is struggling with the darkness because of what blocks out her vision, let the rest of us shine even more brightly so that our friends might come through their time of eclipse and be restored to the light that was for a time invisible to her. Our community hymn, This Little Light of Mine, most of us know it. draws inspiration from the Bible, verses from Matthew 5:15. No one lights a lamp and then puts it under a basket. Instead, a lamp is placed on a stand where it gives light to everyone in the house. That's the missing verse out of our UU hymnal. We didn't put, the light is under the bushel. That line, if some of you grew up with that version of it. I like ours. It's a little cleaner. But I ask you, regardless of whether you have an affinity for this book or not, where are you going to set your lamp? Your metaphorical, maybe your actual lamp? I know that there are many brave souls here at UCO and in our faith movement who courageously shine their light, no matter the risk, and I applaud you greatly for keeping the fuel burning in your lamp. So how are we going to continue this? I mean, there is the miracle of the light, but also we talked earlier, there's magic and then there's not magic, and we need both. How can we amplify the light? What other tools are needed to help us do this? What are the metaphorical candles and wicks and flames and oil and lamps and mirrors to amplify and to set our world ablaze with love? You can certainly shine your light and share your love however you feel it's best to do. Remember, I have that list of resistant roles. There's everything from like the cook to the seed keeper. Everybody can do something. But I'm wondering also too, if you might just set your lamp down here and make a commitment to shine together, for us to put all the lamps together, make it glow brighter. For all the troubles I mentioned before, I know that UCO offers the potential to serve as an antidote to the ills facing our community and our country. Remember, collective power. We are stronger together, and our values lived out and promoted can save lives. And Unitarian Universalism's embrace of pluralism is an antidote to fascism. Interdependence is an antidote to isolation, and generosity is an antidote to greed, and love is an antidote to hate. And I could go on. This congregation is also an oasis for those whose lives are being threatened simply for existing. It's a haven for trans and non-binary folks, a refuge for pluralistic multi-faith families, a sanctuary for those along the margins who do not feel welcome elsewhere. And UCO is a harbor for all of us who need some solid ground to recenter our spirits. This is a community where we practice and learn how to be good stewards of hope. My colleague Rebecca Savage writes, as a religious leader, I am also a steward of hope. So often we can slip easily into conversations and endless news cycle that focus on dire calamity, and we feel overwhelmed, crushed, and dispirited. And yes, there is so much wrong with our world, and so much has already been lost. But this is a yes and moment. Yes and endures, though. We do have time to make changes today. We do have time to practice courageous love today. We do have time to revolutionize how we live out our faith today. And this is how I serve as a steward of hope, by remembering and reminding others with a wink and a smile that today can be for good. For the good, one breath at a time, one act of love and forgiveness at a time, one act of defiance and change at a time. The prayer of my heart is that hope gives rise to insight, which gives rise to action for the good of us all. And despite all that troubles me, I still hang on to hope and the actualization of hope that this religious community is and can be. And I pray that you will do the same. And not only do I hold on to hope, I cheerlead you to remember joy and possibilities and happiness, because that's how we survive too. Because these are the things that also spark our light. So now y'all, if you happen to read my newsletter column for January, I wrote about the sacred fool, which is I. Let this sacred fool now spread a little mirth. Because, I talk about cheerleading, and I kind of say I'm a cheerleader of this congregation, because I believe in you. Our team is amazing, and we can do it. We can get to victory. But let me tell you, in the 3rd grade, my friends asked me if I wanted to join the cheerleading squad at St. Francis Catholic School, the Crusaders. God. And I told my mother that I was appalled, that there was no way I was going to wear a little short skirt and jump and scream for a bunch of boys on the basketball team, all the while flipping and showing my underwear. Nope. I didn't know that they were actually like little shorts that you wore that were meant to be witnessed. I was a little bit un-owlified back then. And so then my friends, they asked me to join the softball team instead. And well, I love that uniform. That was great. It was like, they were white. Who wears white pants to play softball? But anyway, I love this uniform. But you know what didn't love me? The ball hitting my bat. I am the most unathletically inclined person you will ever meet. But I still didn't give up on finding my crew as a kid. So then in the 7th grade, our English teacher, Mrs. Logan, asked me to be in a play. And friends, let me tell you, I placed my lamp on the thespian table, and I have not been the same since. I learned to shine in that theatrical community, and that was what I was seeking, really, right? What many of us are seeking is a community where we feel a sense of belonging, a place where I could fit in, and where I could be safe and loved for who I was. And in high school, I started a fundraising wing of the drama club. I know, right? Because I had nothing else to do. Because, theater is an expensive undertaking. And we needed costumes and props and sets and scripts and so much more. And so I got my fellow actors together, and then I got my theater appreciation friends, the ones who were like, I don't want to act, but I will help you do all the things behind the scenes. And we got together and we told people how valuable this department was, not just for ourselves, but for the wider community. We were actually a safe haven in that school. We banded together because our collective power was stronger. We could circle the wagons when people needed that. And we had a strong mission to tell good stories and to provide that place where people could feel safe and practice their craft and prepare for the real world. And with that clarity of purpose, we raised funds that allowed us to have bigger and better shows that included more people in a variety of ways. And then in this capitalist world we live in, it takes money and vision to build the dream. And while I still don't play softball, I have definitely become that cheerleader, and I love telling stories. And I want to witness to you as UCO's head cheerleader that this team definitely is amazing, and that you have demonstrated a gift economy by taking care of each other. If somebody needs something, you're here for it. You do that for each other. And you do work magic and miracles out of the larger community. And yet there is so much more that I think we want to do. So I'm going to cheerlead you to shine a little brighter. Give a little more light. Find your flow in this place with these good people. And decide what level of commitment you want to make to the mission and vision of UUCO. And add your dollars to the magic. So our stewardship season is kicking off today, and while it's nice to think that, like we said, it runs on magic, we need your financial support. And I believe that we can rise to the occasion. And I hope that as I have now been into my 3rd year here serving you, that I've begun earning your trust. Because that's what congregations and ministers and faith communities run on, is trust. Along with the board of trustees, trust, to help you see and live into the possibilities and the importance of a liberal, Unitarian, Universalist faith presence in this town. Because what would it look like if we weren't here, if this wasn't here? And just like my mission with the drama club in high school to bring people together and amplify good works, we can all shine brighter if we take the chance and extend our generosity practices to this beautiful congregation. Because who we are and what we do matters. My colleague Ethan Lowy writes, together as individuals and as a community, we can put our flames up on a stand. We must draw on our own faith in our work for justice. And it makes our voices stronger, our perspectives, our religious people more distinct. And if we have the courage to speak about our faith and from our faith, we can build a movement that is not just larger, but also more vibrant, more inclusive, more relentless in our work for social justice. We are a congregation that comes together so that we may each kindle our flame and then amplify it. And I'm here to help fan those flames. And we are each here to do that and do that for one another and to cheerlead hope, to name injustice, to offer solidarity, and to act with integrity. We come here to breathe, to take a load off, and all of this, all of our mission needs fuel. Our flames need wicks, our lamps need oil. And the need is great, but the possibility of putting our faith and our finances into this community is an actualization of hope. Putting our lamps in every corner to shine, investing in the vision and the dream of UCO through treasure, through talents and time, is a chance for all of us to coalesce a fire of commitment to a better, more just world. May it be so. I know I'm running a little over, but I'm almost done. We're going to have a moment of reflection. I was going to just say, let's pause for some silence, but I want to offer sort of some words of wisdom from one of my favorite poets, Nikita Gill, who's been posted a lot on Facebook lately. And she writes, be more present for the universe inside you, universes inside you. Make more pilgrimages to the interior of your own heart. Clear away the smoke, the wreckage that tries to convince you that you do not deserve joy. Tell your friends you love them more often. Tell good people they are needed, including yourself in that list. When love comes knocking, do not doubt it. Instead, open the door with warmth and let it in. And when grief claws at your window, don't ignore it. Instead, hold it close and let it stay as long as it's needed. Do not let the lamp of hope dim in the chaos that descends. May peace know your name. May you be greeted by birdsong. Often may hope curl up like a well-loved old dog at the end of your bed every night. And when the ruins of your past call your name, remember the monument of courage you built in their place. Let us pause for a moment of silence. Amen. And now we will release the flame of our chalice. Within each of our hearts there is a most glorious light. Go forth and let its spark help you understand what troubles both you and others. Go forth and let its light of reason be your guide in your decisions. Go forth and bring its rays of hope to those in need of help in both body and spirit, that they may find healing. Go forth and fan the flames of passion to help heal our world. Go forth and spread the warm glow of love, pushing back the darkness of the world. And go forth and share your glorious light with the world. And now, if you will rise in body or spirit with the teal hymnal, number 1028, which is the Fire of Commitment, and I will cue up some music to assist us. Here we go.
As we come to the end of our service, please join me in reciting our congregational blessing printed in our order of service. Go in peace, believe in peace, create peace, be peace.
May y'all go in peace and give your very best of yourselves this week. Blessed be. And I think there may be potluck, but I'm not sure. Yep, so potluck, if you want to stick around and help set up tables in here. Thank you.